But speaking of which, next coming up, Brandi seated at a desk doing a promo about Lance Archer and Jake Roberts. This might have been good. Actually, no, it wouldn't have. It was plainly, obviously scripted and being recited by her. There was no natural delivery to it at all. But it also sounded like she was going to bow up at Jake Roberts. You're not going to slap me. Well, what are you going to do about it if he decides to? It came off as heelish to me, almost her demeanor, but it's obviously a well-shot vignette with somebody reciting scripted verbiage. This did not come from the heart.
Once again, this is not sport-based wrestling. This is an audition for a show on the CW. A villain on Supergirl or The Flash or whatever these shows are. That's what that was. She's very good at delivering lines. I should be good on a scripted show. But it came across as completely unbelievable. And
well, because also if it was a scripted show, there'd be somebody better scripting the lines.
That's right. Well, this was just the beginning of our moment of Brandi here. A shot of Brandi.
Yeah. Talk about, it's a jug of brandy. And look at that jug, by the way. Anyway, so here comes QT Marshall with Brandi against Lance Archer with Jake. So automatically, you would think that Brandi would have the advantage. Once again, Jake Roberts, a dangerous, evil human being, is out here with the Murder Hawk monster. And Cody's going to let his wife go to ringside with a underneath card guy, the way that QT, I like QT, but that's the way he's been presented. So here you've got
she didn't go to the ring with him. She didn't go to the ring with Cody.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What if she's going to be out there? It didn't make any sense. She's telling people that probably Jake is going to try to corner her, intimidate her, but it ain't going to work. Well, how's it not going to fucking work? What are you going to do to Jake to begin with? Nothing. And secondly, QT Marshall is not Cody's brother, Dustin. It's QT, and so Cody's letting his wife go out here with the Murder Hawk monster and Jake Snake Roberts. They must not be that dangerous. I love Jake with the mask. This was a good match. Archer, he gave QT offense when he needed to, but stayed on him and never totally let QT take over. Archer, he worked his ass off to keep up the intensity more than he did last week. Maybe he's been listening. I love you, Lance. In the Brody Lee versus Lance Archer sweepstakes, Lance Archer is winning in a runaway with Absolutely. This, as far as being a new top guy.
No contest.
I said they had to do a spot with Brandi and Britt Baker with the fucking shoe, and that really distracted from and got in the way of the business of the match. Because suddenly, why did Britt Baker hit QT Marshall with her shoe, and then Brandi gets the glory of throwing it away? But they should have been concentrating on Lance Archer here. I will say one thing. If Lance Archer did the head palm shoot off into the ropes on one of my shows, I would fine him $500. I hate that, and it looks so bad. But then there was a bit of a comeback, but Lance hit a big finish, boom, and then pinned him with the claw. I'm not sure about the claw. I thought the finish looked good. I'd like to see more impact maneuvers from these big guys. Boom, 1, 2, 3, convincing, rather than the tap outs and the, stationary pin type of things. But that was a good match and got Lance Archer over more than most things they've done with him. But then, once again, Britt Baker, I know they've switched her heel, but what does she have to do with this issue? Is Britt joining Archer and Jake? She jumped Brandi and DDT'd her and then tossed her in the ring. But Britt tried to toss her the wrong direction, and Brandi ain't used to rolling, and she couldn't hardly get her in the ring. But then Jake brings the snake in, puts the snake on Brandi. And again, nobody helped. The fans would have cheered. They're like, oh, shit, they're going to get rid of Brandi. But why was Britt Baker involved? Why could
I could tell you
Brandi?
Why.
Well, hold on. It just real quick. If Brandi went to check on QT and had her back turned for a moment, and Jake came up behind and fucking flipped that fucking snake over and jerked it back on top of her, and she, oh, shit. It'd have been the same thing, but she was laid out by a DDT from a girl that had nothing to do with the angle, and then all Jake did was really just lay the snake on her already. They never fucking did any damage to Brandi for any retribution to be called for on behalf of Dustin.
Well, first of all, you're leaving out that Jake dry humped Brandi.
Well, yes. Well, he did that too, but that was after he put the snake on her.
Which was quite a moment there. No, Britt Baker, in a matter of a few months, has gotten over, I think, with the AEW fans and even people like me who, we watch every week. We want to like AEW, but there's so much that we don't like that it kind of makes it so that we can't say that we're AEW fans. But she's gotten over with everyone as this heel. She's been great in that role.
Yes.
Just every time they show her in the crowd, she's just become dynamite, for lack of a better term, on this show. So naturally, Stephanie wants to get into a feud with her. So she can
Stephanie, you mean Brandi.
I can slip up there. Actually, yeah. So Brandi, now that I think about it, I guess. But naturally, Brandi wants to now be in a feud with her. So in the middle of all this, the top female heel, Nyla Rose, aside, Brandi has to get involved with her. And then after that theatrical promo, she has to get in there, and she's now in this thing with Jake. It's so ridiculous.
If it had been up to me, I said, well, Brandi rolls in to check on old QT. Jake comes up from behind her and grabs her and gives her the fucking DDT. And she's laying there, and then fucking Lance comes up and dry humps her. And fuck the snake. And then you think Cody wants to get even? That's something to get even over.
Well, here's another thing. They did a good job on commentary. They explained that Cody, because it's, I guess, attached to the football stadium.
He was too far away.
Too far away to get there.
We never saw him come after the fact, did we?
That's the point. We never got the fired up promo. You motherfuckers, you went after my girl. You dry humped her. You DDT'd her. I'm going to kick everyone's ass. You needed that. We shouldn't have to wait a week to see the fired up husband.
Yeah, well, if he's that fired up a week later, he'd have had a heart attack. Yeah, there's parts of things here, but and I saw somebody said, well, they couldn't have a man touch a woman. Well, they could if they want to get some fucking heat. Jake DDT'd Dirty White Girl while Dirty White Boy was handcuffed to the fucking ropes and watching. And that was some heat in the fucking building. Of course, Jake then fucking never showed up again. But anyway.
He DDT'd Dark Journey in 86.
DDT Dark, yeah. The point is, it's just all over the fucking place.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If all of that had happened the way it happened with a crowd there, where they had popped for Brandi getting DDT'd and then...
Yes.
Yeah, they would have gone
They would have
crazy.
cheered. Yeah, they would have cheered.